Hey everyone, today Jesus has a parable for religious leaders. He spoke to them in parables. A man planted a vineyard, put a fence around it, dug a pit for the winepress, and built a tower. Then he rented it to tenant farmers and took a trip. When it was time, he sent a servant to collect from the tenants his share of the fruit from the vineyard. But they grabbed the servant, beat him, and sent him away empty-handed. Again, the landowner sent another servant to them, but they struck him on the head and treated him disgracefully. He sent another one. That one they killed. The landlord sent many servants, but the tenants beat some and killed others. Now, the landowner had one son whom he loved dearly. He sent him last, thinking, they will respect my son. But those tenant farmers said to each other, this is the heir. Let's kill him and the inheritance will be ours. They grabbed him, killed him, and threw him out of the vineyard. So what will the owner of this vineyard do? He'll come and destroy those tenants and give the vineyard to others. Haven't you read this scripture? The stone that the builders rejected has become the cornerstone. The Lord has done this, and it's amazing in our eyes. They wanted to arrest Jesus because they knew that he had told his parable against them. But they were afraid of the crowd, so they left him and went away. This is our vineyard now. Right, that's the attitude of the people in the story. All right, we don't care who built it or planted it. We've been here long enough, and we're going to take what we want, no matter what the owner says or does or who he sends. And we don't care about your son, what he says to us. If we get rid of him, then we can do things our way. It's all ours. So the religious leaders, they know this parable is talking about them. He's accusing them of having that sort of attitude. And so I think we have to ask, well, who is this speaking about now? Right? How can we all sometimes become entitled to what rightly belongs to God? Think it's ours. When do we stop caring about producing fruit for others and try and hoard God's blessings for ourselves? It makes you kind of wonder about this landlord. Why does he leave this vineyard in the hands of these tenants in the first place? If he cares so much, why doesn't he just come and take care of it in person? Because we probably wonder the same thing about God. If God cares so much about this world or about our church, why isn't God taking care of things himself more? Why in the world would God put the world in our hands? Well, it's simple. Because of love. That's what love does. Love invests in others, even when it might not work out. And history shows how often it hasn't. The good news is that God can even use the rejection of his son. The landowner is not an idiot for sending his son after they've killed every other messenger. And so, in the same way, the death of Jesus is not some accident. As Jesus says, quoting the Psalms, the Lord has done this. It is amazing in our eyes. All of this shows that our failures, that can become a place where God's grace can still be made known if we'll let that grace in. So, in the midst of the ways that we've fallen short, when we've done the wrong things with what belongs to God, when we haven't been faithful stewards, how can we be fruitful now with what God has entrusted to us?